back to Claire's Clues. On today's video, we'll be talking about the book The Cashflow Quadrant by Kiyosaki. See, in this book he talks about how we can make money for ourselves, or we can spend time and money and effort working for someone else and making them money instead. So to help explain this and break it down a little bit, to give you an idea, you're going to grab a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper you can break it up into 4 quadrants, 4 sections. So in your top left you're going to have employee. In your bottom left, you'll have self-employed, and in your top right, you'll have big business, and your bottom right, you'll have investor. To help explain these a little bit, we're going to start with employee. So employee, as most of us might know, is where we work for someone else or another company that makes them money. So this is your typical 9-to-5 job. Now, on your bottom left, you'll have self-employed. Self-employed is where you either own a business of your own or you work for yourself in some way or another. This way you're putting in your time and effort to make money for yourself. And in your top right, you'll have big business. This is where you buy or own a certain company which makes you money. So a great example of this would be Apple or Microsoft. So Microsoft being owned by Bill Gates and Apple being owned by Steve Jobs. So these guys have a corporation or a business that makes them money. Now, bottom right is where you have investors. Now, an investor is someone who buys in or might buy shares of a company to find that their money will make them money. That's how that will work for them. So moving on, guys, what you really need to understand is things like big business and investor. These increase your financial freedom. This side, your right-hand side of the page, you'll find will be the kind of side that you need to be on if you want financial freedom. Now, it's easy to get there so long as you're taking the right steps towards it. So, understand this. You need to make your money work for you. No matter how you have that happen, you'll find that by making money work for you, you'll be one step closer to financial freedom. Now, you need to also change your mindset in the process. In order to make it to where you want to go, you need to have a change of mindset. Because we can't make it there with the mindset of working our 9-to-5 job, working for someone else to make money. Because as nice as that might be to have some form of security, to know that you've got a job and that you can go there, make money, and you'll still get paid at the end of the week, and you're not going to feel like you're going to lose a lot of things in between, it doesn't give us financial freedom at the end of the day. It does give us a little bit of money to play with here and there, but it's not enough to make a big difference in our lives. So what you'll find is that employee and self-employed are people that struggle on the day-to-day basis to make it to where they want to go. While if you're on the big business or the investor side, you'll find that you'll make enough money to sit back and relax and enjoy the little things in life. So moving on, it says start with the B quadrant. So this is the big business quadrant. Because if you're starting there, then you can move to the I quadrant, the investor. Because once you've made enough money to sustain yourself from week to week, month to month, whatever it might be, or throughout the year, and know that if you take time off, it's not going to dramatically affect you in some way or another, then you can start moving towards the I quadrant, investing, putting your money into other corporations and other businesses and, owning shares or buying shares, whatever it might be for you, to start making you money. Make your money work for you. That way it can start replicating itself and making money on top of that. So here's what we need to do. We need to be educated in what we're doing. Because if you're not educated, you'll find that you'll start making decisions and choices that might end up losing you money in the long run, or even in the short term. And none of this is going to help us get to where we want to go and be in the I and the B quadrant, to be successful. So understand that even if you're in the E and the S quadrants, you'll find that there's always steps that can be taken to get to the B and the I quadrants. It's just a process. Everything we do in life is a process. There is steps to take to get to where we want to go, to get the end result. But we need to know this. We need to trust in facts and numbers and not in opinions. Don't believe what everyone says. You might have heard this before. Don't believe everything you read. Because by doing this, if you were to fall, for something that someone says and and believe what they say, even if they might be wrong, they could end up making us make the wrong decision simply because we took their word for it. So just because someone says something doesn't make it right, doesn't mean it's the only way to do something. You can find there are multiple ways to get the same result in different processes. So long as we believe in facts and numbers, you'll find that you'll start making quality decisions. Now, being uneducated is risky because if you're uneducated and you start going into the B and the I quadrant, you'll find that you might make choices that will end up costing you a lot in the long run. A lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, and a lot of things that, a lot of things that you could be doing without. Now, he talks about how there's 7 steps. 7 steps to make it to where you want to go. The first one is to mind your own business. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, because you might have heard this before as well. Comparison is the death of all people. If you start to compare yourself to other people, you'll find that you might fall short of someone else's expectations. But the thing is, we don't need to compare ourselves to someone else, because someone else's expectations are vastly different to ours. Someone else's capabilities could be vastly different to ours again. So don't ever compare yourself to someone else, because we are not all the same. We are not robots. We are all individuals. We are all made differently, and we all understand and learn in different ways. Moving on, guys, number 2, he talks about take your cash flow quadrant and take control of it. So you are the only one in control of the things you do, the way you make your money, and how you live your life. So start taking control and being the one who makes the decisions for where you want to go in life. Understand that even if you are in the E and the S quadrants, you can still make it over to the B and the I. There is nothing stopping you other than you. Sorry, guys. Number 3, it says know the difference between a calculated risk and a risky situation. So if you can understand the difference between these two, a calculated risk being something where you're educated enough to take the risk and know that yes, you might fall short, but you still know enough that there might be a good enough payoff at the end of it. Whilst a risky situation is something where you're going into it sort of blindfolded. You've got no idea what the result might be. You don't know the outcome and you're not sure of the process. So we tend to lean more towards risky situations, but we need to start thinking on our feet and understand making quality decisions where it comes to making calculated risks. Be educated in a guess. These sort of situations will start to help push you towards your goals and not further away from them. Number 4, guys, talks about how know your investing styles. Now, there's 3 styles that you could have. You could search for problems, search for answers, or seek experts. Now, the first one being search for problems. You could sift out through whatever it is you're doing and find the problems. And that way you can start eliminating them. Or number 2, you could search for the answers. So you find your problems and you look for the answers to them. That way you can start solving them and fixing them faster instead of just eliminating them, removing them altogether. Now, third of all is you can give up your time. Sorry, you don't have to give up your time and actually start asking and seeking expert advice, expert help. That way you'll find that your time is freed up for you to be able to do the things that are really important to you, things that are actually urgent. So you're not wasting your time and energy and you're saving money in the process, because in the long run, it's going to make you more money by seeking expert advice and finding people that are actually qualified in that field to do what it is you're looking for. Number 5, he talks about, moving on, guys. Number 5 is find mentors. Find people that can give you advice and lead you down the right path, give you the right direction to go in. And that way they can help you along your pathway and your journey a lot faster. Because believe me, they've made all the mistakes already. They've failed 100 times more than you have. And they're there to help you move through it all faster. Number 6, guys, he talks about make failure a strength. So in my words, I'd like to say make failure your friend. Be comfortable with failing. Because if you're not comfortable with failing, you'll find that the minute you do hit a brick wall, the minute you do come across failure, majority of people want to back out. Majority of people would want to give up and say, no, I failed, I'm not trying it, it doesn't work. But what you'll find is that if you start to move through failure and make failure your strength, you'll find that you'll be capable of doing things that majority of people won't want to do and can't do. Number 7, guys, he talks about the power of faith. Believe in yourself. Because no matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is, anyone and everyone is more than capable of doing anything. So long as you put your mind to it and believe in yourself in the process. Because the minute you stop believing in yourself, you'll find that you start to see actions and results of just that. If you give up on yourself, you'll start giving up on your goals and your dreams, and it'll start to show. Well, I'll quickly recap and summarize all this for you guys. The first lot, we talked about the quadrant where it's E in the top left, S in the bottom left, B in the top right, and I in the bottom right. So employee being where you work for money, you work for someone else to make them money. I is self-employed, where you put in time to make money. So you're working for yourself, but you're still giving up your time. Big business is where you own a corporation or a business like Apple or Microsoft, and this way it's making you money. You have people outside of that company buying into whatever it is you've got, therefore making you profit. Or you've got your investors. These guys are buying into big companies, into shares, whatever it might be. They're making their money work for them. Their money is making them money. And this is the quadrant you want to get to. So quickly to summarize that, make money work for you, and this way you'll find that you'll never have to struggle to make ends meet, and that way you're not having to work a 9-to-5 job ever again. You have to change your mindset as well. In the process of all of this, to reach success, you're going to need to change your mindset. You cannot go into big business or investor thinking that you can have the mindset of a 9-to-5 job, working for someone else to pay you. And start with the B quadrant. Don't jump straight into I, because as soon as you do that, you'll find you might be not as educated as you think, and you might make the wrong decisions. So by being in the B quadrant, you learn a lot of first-hand experience of what it would take to be where you want to go. And trust in facts and numbers. Don't believe in people's opinions. Don't take their opinions as the truth, because even though they might be right, it might not necessarily suit your circumstances or your situation. And being uneducated is risky. So don't ever go into something not knowing anything about it. It's like getting a new job. You don't walk into a new job and know nothing about the business. You have to know at least 1% to get your foot in the door. Now guys, he also talks about the 7 steps. The 7 steps being mind your own business. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing, and don't compare yourself to other people. Number 2, he says take control of your cash flow. Understand that your cash flow is totally in your hands. How you make your money and how much of it you make is totally up to you. Number 3 is know the difference between a calculated risk and a risky situation, because these two things will differentiate how you make your money and if you can make enough of it to get to your goal. Number 4, he says know your investing style. So 1, you've got searching for problems. 2, you've got search for answers. And 3, you can seek an expert advice. So number 5, guys, he talks about find mentors. Always find people that can help you in your direction of success, because there are plenty of people out there that have done it before you, and they've failed more times than you could ever think, more times than you'll ever have to. So these people can help you to move forward without making the same mistakes. Number 6, guys, he talks about make failure your strength. Make failure your friend. Get comfortable with it. Because once you're comfortable with failure, you'll start doing the things that majority of people aren't willing to do, which means you'll be getting results that majority of people won't be getting. And number 7, guys, believe in yourself. Have faith. Know that no matter what, you can do this. Doesn't matter your background, your origin, what you know, if you are educated or not, because we can all learn, we can all improve. And no matter what, you can make it. Well, that's all for now, guys. We've been making plenty more of these videos for this training series to help you with your personal development goals. And I hope you enjoyed it so far. So I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Claire's Clues. Bye!